Hey everyone, today I'm going to be testing out Detect's Total Drinking Water Test Kit. This is for drinking water, tap water, well water, if you have a freshwater system, or if you want to evaluate the water coming out of a filter, such as your fridge, or if you have an osmosis filter. So this has quite a few tests in it. It's a pretty big kit, and really it's going to cover all of the essentials that you need to evaluate if your drinking water is safe. So let's get started. So opening the kit. It's a pretty packed kit, as you can see. Got a lot of things in here. So we have our instructions. I do like that there's printed instructions. And then we have our ultra-sensitive water purity test. We have our pH, iron, and hardness. Then ultra-sensitive lead in water. And then our dual-sided bacteria and fungus test. So this is pretty nice packaging to have all of these. And it looks like they have instructions in each as well. So that makes it pretty easy to do each section. Then we have just a cute sticker. And we have some gloves. And we have a water tube. So looking at our instructions, it tells you everything that's in the kit. Then it's going to describe why and where you're testing for these different types of tests, 4 kits here. And then it's going to talk about preparing your sample. So again, you can test a lot of different waters, and it kind of suggesting different areas. So refrigerators, ice makers, pet bowls, livestock feeders, tap water, well water, rainwater barrels, RV water supply, boat freshwater systems, and humidifiers. This is just suggested list. And then it has some troubleshooting and if you need help. So each kit is gonna have its own instructions, it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with our pH, iron, and hardness. So opening it here. I do like that it's sealed, everything is sealed, you know, keeping it clean. So we have 3 tests here and our instructions card. I really do like that each has its own instructions. A lot of people these days have their instructions online, but this has a card for each. So it's really simple. So we have 3 steps here. I'm gonna prepare my materials, I'm gonna add my water, and I'm gonna test. So I'm gonna be testing the water out of my faucet today. So first, let's start with iron. So it just has a pad on the top. It says not to touch it. And I dip it in for 1, 2, shake it off. And then I read the results after 30 seconds. The next one I'm gonna do is pH. So this is a 3-pad test that allows us to see a really tight pH value. I was reading this earlier, there's a lot of numbers on here. So same thing, 1, 2, and after 30 seconds, I'm gonna read the results. So reading the pH here, you can see that I'm sitting around a 5.5, which is pretty low pH for drinking water. So that might lead me to investigate a little bit more into what's going on with my water system. Last test I'm gonna do is our water hardness. This is really important if you're having skin or hair issues. It's really important to know what your water hardness is. We are in Texas, so we tend to have pretty hard water coming off of our limestone. So I'm gonna dip it in, 2, and I'm gonna wait 30 seconds. Next, I'm gonna be doing the lead in water portion of this test. We have our cassette, we have a dropper, and we have our instructions packet. So I'm gonna open this pouch and I'm gonna add 2 drops of this water. One drop and 2 drop. And now we wait 10 minutes before reading our results with the guide on the back. So after 10 minutes, our results are in. This is the opposite of a COVID test, meaning that if you have 2 lines here, that means there's no lead. 1 line would mean that there was lead. If you are missing both lines after adding liquid, then you have an invalid and you need to contact them. So here, I have 2 lines, so I am lead free, and it's very easy to read. Next, I'm gonna be doing the dual-sided bacteria and fungus test. So we have 1 test here. So we open the test tube and we dip it into the water. And I'm waiting 10 seconds. And now I let this drip off and put it in. Pretty easy. So I then need to label where I tested and the date and time, because for this one, we have to wait 72 hours for it to grow before we can do our visual identification. So once it grows, we will look at our instructions. It has been 72 hours and I'm reading my results. So you can see that I am definitely in the area where there is concern about bacteria. I even have a little bit of mold growing, and I have a lot on the back. So if I want to look at the species, I scan this QR code and I can go to their species guide. We are on the last test of this kit. This is our water purity test. So far I've been running this on this tap water. This is a really, really sensitive test, and it's meant for kind of that filtered water or anything that should be 100% clean. So I've gone ahead and filled this up with water from my fridge. My fridge has a brand new filter in it, and we're gonna see how well it works. So we have our test. There's a little tube and a pipette. And same thing as the other ones, we have instructions included. So first things first, it wants us to wear gloves. It says this test, we should avoid touching it with our fingers. And then we're gonna open the tube. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my gloves on. So next, I open this. And then I'm going to add 2 drops of water from my water sample into the tube. 1, 2. Okay. Set this down. Very gently set this little tube down. Now I open this. And so there is a pink side, and it's telling me to put the pink side in the tube. So here we can see that pink side, and reading our instructions, it tells us to put the pink side into this tube. And we want to make sure that the end is fully seated in that the liquid is all the way touching the strip. And now we wait 5 minutes. So already we can start to see the water flowing up and taking that pink with it. So we can see the reaction already happening. After 5 minutes, we are looking at our results. We can see we only have 1 line, and 1 line means our water is completely clear. So clean, filtered water should never have microbes in it. It should always read with only 1 line. If there was a concern, it would have 2 lines.